Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Believe You Me podcast on a Monday evening. Thank you all for being here. Mike Harrington, Flemington, give me a sound check.
I'm sounding good. I think the phlegm is gone.
Crystal clear, smooth as a groove. Big show for you planned today. Of course, going to go through all the stuff in mixed martial arts. We're also joined by the one and only miracle, Lerone Murphy. He'll be joining us shortly. That is not to be confused with Lauren Murphy. Brian, our producer.
Hey, man, you make mistakes sometimes. I don't know what to say.
It's all right, Brian. You weren't the only one. People on Twitter as well, they were like, do you mean Lauren Murphy? I'm like, no, Lerone. Look at what I wrote. He's undefeated. He's in the UFC, got shot in the face 3 times. He's a literal real-life UFC 50 Cent, get rich or die trying type of guy. We're also joined by Muhammad Mokaev, who is currently out in Abu Dhabi. He's fighting in a couple of weeks, going up against Tim Elliot. I think that was a change of opponents, right?
Yeah, I don't know who he was originally supposed to fight, but yeah, former title challenger Tim Elliot. Big step up for Mokaev.
No, it really is. It's a great fight as well. So we'll hear about him, obviously coming back from after that late show, but he will be back on Thursday. So don't log off right now. We got lots of good shit to talk about. I guess we're going to start with Bobby King Green at the weekend. Oh my word. I mean, Bobby Green, I'll be honest. I went out to watch Jim Jeffries, hilarious comedian, and I met Perillo, went with him, so we met at 6:30. So I saw the co-main event, I saw all the fights. I'm like, this is fucking typical. I've got to leave just as the main event, the big one you want to see. Fortunately, 33 seconds, came back, saw it. Oh my God, the first shot that he landed. Bobby Green is extremely skilled. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Nice work, Brian. I mean, this is essentially the whole fight. Look at that, a left hand. Boom, sits him down, drops him, follow-up shots. Bobby Green is he's a very, very skilled fighter. He's a veteran of the game, been around forever, came on the podcast a few times as well. Wild backstory. That man's had a very, very tough life. And I'm so happy to see him having this, not a late resurgence because he's had a good career, but lately, he's starting to get the recognition that he's always deserved. Certainly last time out beating Tony Ferguson, then going out there flatlining Grant Dawson, Grant Dawson is a tough matchup for anybody in the division with that kind of wrestling. So, yeah, well done to him. What were your thoughts, Harrington?
I mean, I've always said with Bobby Green, when he was younger, right? $1 million talent, 10-cent head. Like he always had the skills, always had the pop. He could always be flashy and dynamic. There was so much you loved about his game, but the stuff he would take off of the table with bad fight IQ or whatever the case, like putting your hands down and walking into a firefight with Dustin Poirier, that's the Bobby Green of old. This new Bobby Green we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years, who's really, I feel like, matured and kind of stepped into his own, and it stopped being like a, like you see it with Kevin Holland right now, right? Like it's the de facto is to entertain and put on a great show. When those guys flip a switch, it's truly scary. When guys with that level of talent put it together, Bobby Green, a plus 400 underdog coming into this fight, got it done, shocked the world.
Plus 400. Wow, that's incredible. Good for him. Couldn't be happier. I mean, he's always showed like flashes of brilliance, even against Drew Dober before he got caught. I mean, he was pimping Drew Dober, who, by the way, will be joining us again on Thursday. Hands down, so fast, reflexes are on point, amazing takedown defense, decent offensive wrestling, but the striking is where he gets it done. And against Dober, again, he was pimping him, but of course the hands low, that cost him. Had a beautiful performance against Tony Ferguson, gets the job done in 33 seconds, and now it seems he's the belle of the ball. Everybody is calling him out. Renato Moicano came out. Did you see what he said? What was the quote? He was talking some shit.
I think he just said, "I'm going to kill you," and then cursed without cursing. You know what I mean? Like how you can make a curse. Yeah. Mudafoka, something like that. But yeah, and then he hashtagged ATT for some reason. So, I guess that's the gym. I thought he was shouting out the phone company. So I was is he sponsored by AT&T now? Moicano really does want money.
Come on, how long you had that joke in your back pocket for, Harrington? Don't lie. You are a liar. You're like, ooh, ATT.
Feels like an off the cuff.
Yeah. It was not well thought out. There was no punchline.
No.
If I thought about it, it might have been good.
Well, speaking of punchlines, Saturday night, Jim Jeffries. Oh my God. I have not laughed that much in a long time. My face was hurting. I was literally crying. It was, oh man, what a night. What a night. It was so fun. I'm not going to get into all the stuff here because it was controversial, man, but it was hilarious. But there was some person when he came out filming on the phone and he's like, put your phone away, please. I'm not going to do an Australian accent and just butcher it. But he was asking nicely. He said, hey, put your phone away, please. Come on. And he said, I'm doing material here that's going to be on my next special. I don't want it getting out online. So come on, respect what's going on here. Just live in the moment, put your phone away. And this guy or girl, I couldn't see because they were behind me, just wouldn't listen. So he had to say about 5 or 6 times. And in the end, he was getting pissed off. He's like, I will have security throw you out. Listen, I'm not joking now. Put the fucking phone away. Just some people, do you know what I mean? Put the phone away, live in the moment, enjoy it. That's one thing Rebecca always talks about. Anywhere you go now, you just see everyone living through the phones, filming everything, you know, and I get it. They want to show off on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, but come on, just enjoy the moment.
It's videos that you're never going to watch again too. Like you're ruining the moment for you in real time to never go back and watch it. It's crazy.
It's so true. It's so true. All those videos, because I've done it with the kids when they're doing something or whatever. And now and again, maybe you flick through and you look at it and it brings back a memory. But if you're at a concert or something like that, no one wants to see it. You're not, you know, you might have that little temporary flex online, but that no one gives a shit about either. But yeah, if you get a chance, go see Jim Jeffries because my God, that man was hilarious. Who was Bobby Green calling out? Because I know he said Moicano sucks. But he had a call out, but I can't remember who it was.
So actually, I believe his after the fight, what he said was he wasn't going to name an opponent, but he named a date. He said, I've been the most active fighter in the UFC all year. He wants to keep that going. He wants to get back in there in December. Yeah, but I know that he did respond to the Moicano call out, and he said that he would beat the crap out of him. You know, if the UFC did book that, but he's not pigeonholing him with anybody. He just wants back in there as soon as he can.
Yeah, and rightly so. Hey, quick turnaround. I mean, 33 seconds, didn't take any damage whatsoever. Threw one punch. He's good to go. You could throw him on any card anytime soon. Do you know what, though, what I initially thought of? This makes, and tell me what you think about this. This makes the Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett fight all the more interesting because, you know, you look at Tony Ferguson, and we talked about this recently, but he's lost 6 in a row. The last one was to Bobby Green that people saw as maybe a step down from the absolute elite competition. Now Bobby Green's going out there, flatlines Grant Dawson, who I think was undefeated in the UFC, right? I think he was.
I believe so. And he was number 10 in the rankings.
Ranked number 10, flatlines him in 33 seconds. And yeah, he beat Tony Ferguson and he beat him at his own game by a submission. But he took some clean shots of Bobby Green. So that says to me, maybe Tony isn't quite past his expiry date just yet, which makes that fight with Paddy Pimblett a little bit more dangerous for Paddy.
Yeah, I mean, it is, you know, it is a weird thing where if Bobby Green is getting submissions off of you, but you're right, it was due to the damage. And I don't think Paddy can put that level of power on him. I'm hyped for this fight. I'm so excited now that you're talking about it. Like that actually does.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, MMA math doesn't stack up, styles make fights and all the rest of it, but it does make that kind of interesting. Harrington, you put here, it's in the notes. I said, Bobby Green called someone out and you were like, no, he didn't. I just want to fight. You've got it here. You sent me this email. Number 9, Dan Hooker. Dawson's legit, bro. That kid's a problem. And then for Bobby, so this is Dan Hooker talking. Dawson's legit. That kid's a problem. Then for Bobby to go out there and clean him up the way he cleaned him up, that's a heap of momentum. Beating number 10, he'll probably be number 10 by the end of the week. And that's it. You want to fight people that have heaps of momentum. You want to fight people that get you excited. I don't think too much about it. Now I have a manager. Should have had a manager a long time ago. I have to message him before I start calling people out. But yeah, after that performance, wants to fight Bobby Green. Dan Hooker, Bobby Green. Hooker's number 9. That's a great fight. Striker's delight. And again, for Bobby Green to go out there, if he was to beat Dan Hooker, which by the way will be a very, very tough fight. Remember what Dan Hooker did against Jalen Turner. Tough fight, broke his hand, still found a way to win the fight. It's amazing the resurgence that Bobby's having.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a fight where I feel like anybody, right? Take my money right now. Nobody's not signing up for that. That's one I look at where I'm like, Dan Hooker's been around this long. Bobby Green's been around this long. They've both been at around the same level and the same hype and excitement. How has that not been booked yet already? I want to see that.
You know, I'm just looking at Bobby's record here. So he beat Clay Guida, Lando Venata, and Alan Patrick. 3 good wins. Loses via decision to Thiago Moises and Rafael Fiziev. No shame. Both top of the food chain. Beats Alaya Quinta. He looks stunning in that fight. Nasrat Hatparas beats him. Loses to Islam Makhachev. Again, no
short
shame.
notice too, I believe.
Relatively short notice, but still, he kind of got handled. But it's to Islam, who's destroying everybody. Loses to Drew Dober, but was looking fantastic. And then no contest, Jared Gordon, Tony Ferguson, Grant Dawson. I tell you, Bobby Green, keep an eye on that name. I mean, 37 years old, he's no spring chicken, but I'm excited for his future. I think he's going to do some big, big things. I know we talked about Dylan Dennis on the last episode. Did you just see that Logan Paul now is going around masquerading that he has a broken wrist?
What? No.
Well, yeah, I saw a video this morning when I woke up. He's sitting with Jake Paul and he's got a wrist brace on. He says, I've broken my wrist. I broke my wrist a while ago. I fell off a bike and now I landed a punch wrong and it's all messed up. So I was going to do a YouTube video talking shit about it because he's trying to make excuses. But now a video just came out. In fact, here we go. Press play, Bri.
I broke it. Broke my wrist.
What? Wait. Like again?
Yeah, again.
So are you able to fight?
Yeah, I'm able to fight for sure.
When did this happen?
A couple days ago in training.
How did it happen?
Just a punch. I landed a punch wrong and have some wrist problems. I broke my wrist in the past. I broke it. Broke my wrist.
That felt scripted.
Yeah, exactly, Brian. I'm sending you an email right now. Play this one. I've just sent it to you, but with you in a second. First of all, who's that guy? How did it happen? I mean, come on.
That guy forgot his line. He was reading cue cards off camera.
How did it happen? Oh, my God. Anyway, it's all bullshit. Now another video surfaced this morning because I was going to do a quick video on it, giving shit, taking the piss out of him for making excuses. So I Googled it just to watch it again and refresh myself of what he said. And the one that I just sent to Brian popped up.
What about the other wrist? What's going on there? Broke it. Broke my wrist.
What? So are you able to fight?
Yeah, I'm able to fight for sure.
When did this happen?
A couple days ago in training.
How did it happen?
I landed a punch wrong and have some wrist problems. I broke my wrist in the past. I'll be honest, bro. I didn't break my wrist. All right.
Okay.
I know I lied. Because I'll tell you why, bro. I'm not trying to scare Dylan away from this fight.
But now you just gave up the bit so fast.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah, you should put it back on.
Give me the wrist.
Give it back.
Anyway.
What
are they doing? Yeah, what is
clown he is.
I know. It's like, come on, mate. Listen, do you know what? And this is a sentence I never thought I'd say. This is why I really respect KSI and Tommy Fury, because we're not seeing none of that bullshit from these two, are we? To be fair, they had a little bit of back and forth at the press conference. You know what I mean? They talked a bit of shit. We had John Fury, no man alive, throws the table and all the rest of it. But other than that, I think they're just getting down in the gym and training.
Well, I feel like they almost were forced into the trash talk too, right? You can't have that much going on around you. You're the main event. You just can't let these guys steal your shine entirely. So you have to do something. But I don't think either one of those guys is invested in that at all. And I do, man, that was weird to hear you say that. But I mean, I don't know. I guess KSI you've never had an issue with him. He's never been disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. And it does seem like, in his mind at least, he's taking this pretty darn seriously.
Yeah. So listen, fair play to all of them. Listen, it has been entertaining, to be fair, and it's given us something to talk about. And I wish them all the best. That goes down this Saturday, by the way. Not that I'm plugging their shit, but hey, fair play to them all. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Kachava, which is one of our newest sponsors. And I am telling you, this supplement, this super blend of superfoods and greens and proteins and everything that you need for your body is amazing. Listen, long gone are the days now where you have to go in and you're going to have a protein powder, you're going to have your super greens, you're going to have your probiotics, your adaptogens, your antioxidants. Kachava has blended it all together in one. It gives you everything that your body craves and you will feel your absolute best. And the good thing is they are delicious. They are absolutely beautiful. It's creamy, smooth, and it comes in 5 delicious flavors. They've got the chocolate, the vanilla, the chai, the matcha, and the coconut acai. Listen, as I said, before you had to have your protein. Well, this has 25 grams of plant protein per serving. And as I said, it's got the superfoods, it's got the greens, the proteins, the antioxidants, the adaptogens, and the probiotics. And let me tell you, you feel fantastic after this. I'm really noticing a difference in my recovery from lifting weights. It's really helping with the protein synthesis. You feel great afterwards. You are energized throughout the day. I'm going to the bathroom nice and regularly, and it looks good when it's coming out. Anyway, moving on from that because it's disgusting, but this stuff is fantastic. Get it all in one. Get all the goodness and all the vitamins, minerals, proteins that your body needs in one little scoop of Kachava, and you can get 10% off for a limited time. So right now, go to kachava.com, Kachava, kachava.com/believe. You'll get 10% off your first order. Kachava.com/believe. All right, anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's talk about some real MMA. UFC 294 goes down in a couple of weeks. Very excited, of course. Charles Oliveira going up against Islam, the rematch. And they just announced this morning, or I saw it this morning, that there's going to be officially a backup fighter by the name of Mateusz Gamrot, who just beat Rafael Fiziev when Fiziev blew his knee out in the second round. Fair and square, legitimate win for Mateusz. He will be flying out to Abu Dhabi as the backup fighter, like they always do with big fights these days. And I thought to myself when I first saw that, I thought, he's not going to be required. He's not going to be required because there's no way either of them aren't going to show up. They're not going to get injured. They're reliable. But then I was like, hold on a minute. Charles Oliveira, sadly, has had a habit in the past of missing weight. And what fight was it? It was a title fight, and he had to fight. He was stripped to the belt, essentially, but he still fought and won. Was that against Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, it was the Gaethje fight. That's why there was no belt going into the Islam fight.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you never know if Charles Oliveira misses weight, and I think that's going to be the only way we see somebody Mateusz have to step up and be the backup fighter. I can't imagine there's going to be any issues with Islam, although notoriously he has hard weight cuts as well.
He does have hard weight cuts. And I mean, how many times did Khabib have weight cutting issues? And I know like it's not transitive property, but there might be some tiramisu floating around the Dagestani camp. You don't know.
Are you saying that just because he's Dagestani, just because he trains at the same team, just because Khabib is his coach, you're saying that the same traits that plagued the career of the great, the GOAT, Khabib Nurmagomedov, you're saying because of that, and they're both Muslim, that he's going to miss weight? Jesus, Harrington.
Just saying, there's some similarities, and it would not shock me if Mateusz Gamrot was needed for that. But what would they do in that situation? Actually, I was thinking about that because if the champion, like if the challenger misses weight, obviously you have the backup step in, make the weight, and so you can make it an official title fight. What if the champion misses weight? What's the protocol there?
It'll just be like, I would assume, when Charles missed weight, when he fought Justin Gaethje. I would assume that the fight would still go ahead, and Charles could win the vacant belt.
Oh, right. And Islam couldn't.
Yeah, he'd probably be stripped, I think. Right? That's what they did against Charles, didn't they? So I would assume that the same protocol would just carry on.
Yeah, they had that in place for Rockhold versus Romero, too, when it was the vacant belt, where Rockhold was the only one who could win.
I'll be honest. Listen, I love Mateusz Gamrot. I think he's an incredible fighter, but I would be devastated if I don't get to see Charles versus Islam. I really would. I mean, no disrespect to Mateusz. It'd be a great fight, regardless who it is. But there's something about the storyline with them too. But there it is. Mateusz Gamrot is the backup fighter. Go on.
So Dan Hooker had like an interesting take on this. He was like, I don't understand why you would do that, right? Everybody pretty much agrees those two are going to fight. Like they're going to, that fight is going to happen and his services aren't going to be needed. So why is he taking the time off instead of booking a fight against somebody like a Dan Hooker, or, like if you're showing us the backup fighter, you're saying you're ready to fight. Why not just book a fight rather than waste your time making a weight cut?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Number one, it's a fast track to a title shot. If for some reason, of course, he's stepping in for a title fight. He gets the title fight, so you take that opportunity. And I don't know what they get paid, but they do get compensated pretty well for doing that, for, having their services on hand. Yeah, they do. I don't know if they get the full fight purse. I don't know what it is, but they do get compensated for that. So, if you don't fight, you fly out to Abu Dhabi, you get a ringside ticket, you score some brownie points with the UFC, you get a nice little paycheck, and you probably put yourself potentially next in line. I think most weight classes you would, but with 155, there's just so many killers. Also, we just saw Paulo Costa, who's the co-main event against Hamzat. Let me ask you, what are you more excited for? Hamzat versus Costa or Islam versus Oliveira? Because that's a tough one to answer.
It really is, because Hamzat is such a specialty attraction at this point, right? We only see him the once a year, and I've already seen Islam fight Volkanovski this year. I've seen Oliveira fight Beneil this year. That being said, though, there's just something about those two. Charles versus Islam it truly is a display of the two best in what I consider the glamour division of the UFC, the 155-pound division.
Yeah. But anyway, so the co-main event, Hamzat versus Costa. Costa just came out. He had surgery, I think about 3 weeks ago. So 5 weeks before the fight, he got a very, very nasty staph infection. Brian, can we take a look at that, please? Nasty staph infection, had a operation. He's got like a 10-inch scar.
Gigantic.
10 inches, bro. It's gigantic.
Yeah. Well,
let's take a look here. Here he is.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a nasty pimple.
So is that the staph actually on the skin?
Yeah, I'm no staph expert, but it looks like it to me. Yeah, I mean, you can see like the redness there, like the pimple thing. Oh. And then you can see all the redness as well. But Brian, do we have the shot of the incision, the surgery? It doesn't matter if we don't, but yeah, it's a nasty one. I tell you what, that's kind of risky. I mean, I respect him and I applaud him, because obviously he wants to still compete, still wants to fight, doesn't want to pull out. A lot of people, if you're trying to pull out of a fight, I mean, come on, there you go. You got to have surgery. So he's had that, probably working around it. I mean, you got to think that the odds are going to now sway in the favor of Hamzat in a big, big way. Because think about that. I mean, if that hasn't healed properly, 5 weeks, if we can bring the cut up, please, Brian, if you get a chance, you'll see it here. Yeah, that's not the one either. Oh, it's not the one I saw online. And there's... whatever, who cares? The one I saw online, I must have saw a fake one. No. I saw one, it looked like someone had gone at him with a machete.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Everything I've seen has been pretty localized to the elbow, but they might have just hatcheted him up to make that work. That tells me, like, tons of wrestling, right? Like, staph infection is mostly a wrestling thing, no?
Again, not an expert, but just being around those gym conditions, to be honest,
fair enough.
Regardless of what it is, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, anything, anytime you're in a warm environment where there's lots of sweat and bacteria can breed, and you just get a little cut, a little nick, a little scratch, bacteria can get in there. And that's that. That's why I always say you got to shower straight away. I tell Lucas does training now at the Den in Yorba Linda. If you're in the area, check it out. He loves it. And I love it. It warms my heart, man. I go pick him up and watch like the last 20 minutes of the training. And yeah, there's just something, it just warms my heart so much.
Is that where you jumped on the mats?
No. I did a little jiu-jitsu on Friday. I'll get to that in a minute. But but yeah, but I tell him, you got to get a shower. And he comes in because they train 6 till 8. So it's a long session. So he's starving. He has his dinner first. I'm like, dude, get in the shower. And, I tell my wife, he said, let him eat his dinner. I'm like, babe, it's not a democracy. He has to do what he's told. Okay? Simple as that. Get in the shower because you can get goddamn staph. And look at the state of that, man. Or just ringworm. Ringworm's gross as well. You don't want to get ringworm. But yeah, you mentioned...
He's a teenager. He's a teenager. So it's like just acne, bro. Like shower immediately after. Get those pores cleaned out and get them closed.
Yeah, bless him. The acne's on its way. It definitely is. He's got a lot of pimples. Callum suffered. His mum suffered as well. So they used to take Accutane. Have you heard of that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
That's hardcore shit, man.
Dude, it's like my buddy Glenn took it and it really like messed his liver up something fierce.
Apparently, some people have it can make you have suicidal thoughts and things like that. Apparently, but fortunately, we didn't suffer any of that stuff. But Callum took it; it cleared up his spots. You know, his skin would have been beautiful apart from me. You know, like imagine the worst case of chapped lips you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
He had the chappers lips, and his face was so dry. You know what I mean? But it did fix the acne. But
It's like nothing can live on here.
Nothing can live. It's like his face was like the Sahara Desert. Do you know what I mean? It was drier than Gandhi's flip flop. But still, anyway, Paulo Costa, Khamzat Chimaev. You got to favor Chimaev now. I thought that fight was really, really close because Costa, I mean, what's he? He's only been beaten twice. Marvin Vettori and Israel Adesanya. And then other than that, he's beaten some great competition. Beat Yoel Romero. That was an absolute war. If you look at the style of Yoel, I think you can draw some comparisons with the wrestling with Khamzat. But I think with that injury now, I think, as I say, I think I'm going to favor Khamzat with that in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, he said he was still able to spar with the injury. And like I said, you saw him hitting the bag there. But I can't imagine guys are going for like hard double legs on him and like trying to slam him on his back where he's going to need to like post on that or land hard on that elbow. So I've never seen in my mind, I'm just trying to rack my brain, like the time where somebody has actively attacked Paulo Costa and tried to wrestle him for 15 minutes. Like I'm sure Khamzat will. I just don't see how he survives that wrestling attack.
It's going to be interesting to see Khamzat, though, at 185 against somebody like Costa because, he beat Gerald Meerschaert. No disrespect to Gerald, but this is a step up. And he caught him with a clean shot with one of the first punches that he threw. But, of course, if you look at Gilbert Burns gave him a really, really good run for his money. Now, maybe that was the weight cut down to 170. We don't know. Or maybe it was just Gilbert Burns, had his number that night. Didn't have his number, but, was right there with him. And Paulo Costa is a legit 185er, staff or not. Great wrestling, great striking. The man can take a shot and he can deliver a shot as well. So that is going to be a ridiculous fight.
If those guys actually just stand and trade blows, like if it's not what I'm saying, if there is not like a wrestling clinic, if those guys actually just draw a line in the sand and start hitting each other, that's going to be, I'm so excited for that.
And that's real ballsy, though, of Costa, though, to do that. What up, Lerone?
I'm going to get out.
Morning, brother.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm all good, more good. Just finished my dinner.
This is long overdue, man. Long overdue. Lerone, the Miracle Murphy, joining us live from Manchester. Not too late for you, I hope?
Nah, all good. All good. Do you know what? I thought you meant 12 at midnight. I was like,
no, I know. No, that's my fault. So for those people that don't know what we're talking about, I messaged him. I said, can we do 12 my time? But I put 12 your time, which is midnight. I meant midday here. So 8 p.m. for you or 8:15, whatever. How you been, Lerone? Listen, you have got a ridiculous story, and I want to get into that a little bit. But 13-0, undefeated in the UFC. Things are going well.
Flying, man. Flying. Do you know what? It's like, when I first got to the UFC on a short notice fight, it was just like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like a big step up in competition. A lot of people like counting me out and stuff like that. But I felt like as a fighter, when you push yourself, you push your limits, you grow. Do you get what I'm saying? And you've just been growing ever since.
Yeah, and you are growing in popularity and ability and all the rest of it. Talk to me about how did you get into mixed martial arts in the first place? I mean, I know, and if you don't mind, we'll get into some of your earlier stuff because it's very, very interesting, and I haven't heard the story. One look at your Wikipedia page shows you got shot in the face 3 times. So I'd love to hear all about that. But how did you end up becoming a professional fighter?
So it's just one of them things that happened. I used to watch the UFC and MMA years ago. My dad used to have first UFC DVDs. So me and my brother and I used to watch it from the kids and fight with my cousins and stuff like that, try moves out and all that stuff. But it's like, never thought I'd be a fighter. Never thought I'd have the guts to step in there. Like my cousins fought like boxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that. But I've always thought, how did them guys have the guts to fight in front of people? Do you get what I'm saying? I used to play football as a kid. I always wanted to be a footballer, but anyway, I used to watch the UFC, and then I got a gym opened up pretty close to me, and my cousin asked me to come and try it out. I ended up trying it out, and then got drawn in. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, yeah. And your uncle, he was quite the famous, your late uncle. He used to train Amir Khan and people like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my uncle Oliver Harrison used to train Martin Murray, Amir Khan and stuff like that. But I always wanted to go and train, but he lived in Salford, you see, and it was far from me. My mum didn't drive or nothing like that, but I always wanted to go and train with him, and I always think in my head, what if I actually did? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, where would it be now? But you can't think like that, and everything happens for a reason, innit?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you're 32 years old, so still got plenty of time, undefeated, as I say, made your debut at Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. So things are going well, Lerone, and that's an understatement. Do you have a fight lined up right now?
I don't know, but I'm aiming to get back out in February.
Okay.
February.
So the only thing that's kind of been hampering you is kind of like the activity. You know what I mean? Because as I say, you are undefeated, but I'm looking at your record here. It was one fight in 2020, 2021, there was 2 fights, 1 in 20, and then 2 in 2023. So that's good. But apart from getting shot in your former life, shall we say, but you also you got hit by a car and you were in a coma.
Yeah. So
tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was lined up to fight Nate Landwehr in March of 22. And I ended up getting injured for that fight, a pretty serious injury. So I was out for that, and I was just building back to full fitness. I was out on my bike, done like a 30-kilometer ride. I was just getting home, I'm riding, and a car just comes, turns right without even looking, cleans me off a bike. I hit my head off the screen and then off the floor. Started bleeding out. It's bleeding out. I must have been there for like 45 minutes before the ambulance come. But it's bad. There's blood everywhere, and it's just like that was just like a big setback for me. I had like post-concussion syndrome for a while. I was pretty messed up, so that's a big setback. So, like I said, my career's been like stop and start, and I've just been trying to gain some momentum. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's the only thing I'm missing. Bit of momentum.
That's why you got to wear a helmet, Lerone. but I get it. I don't wear a helmet. Yeah. I nag my kids, wear a helmet. Yeah, but you look like a helmet with a fucking helmet on.
Yeah, you do, but it's like now I know how fragile we are as humans. Do you know what I'm saying? Like one little thing like that, done.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? Because we do think, especially guys like us that do what we do for a living, we think we're invincible. You know what I mean? And certainly after, as I say, what you went through in your, shall we say, former life, would you mind taking us through, when you were younger, and take us through that incident? Because I've never heard the actual story, but as I say, it's on your Wikipedia page. So I would love to hear, man.
Yeah. So just like
because and the reason being is because I think a lot of people, it's important to hear stuff like this to understand that you made a few wrong decisions in life. I certainly did, but then it's never too late to turn things around and get your life on track. So I'm not saying it from a take the piss angle. I'm sure it'll bring a lot of people inspiration, man. Yeah,
of course, and that's the only reason why I tell the story. I don't tell the story to glamorize that lifestyle or whatever. I just like. Just another, there's more to life than that in it. So it's just like, I was just younger, like you said, lived a total different life than I do now. Was up to all sorts, and then ended up getting shot at coming outside of a barber's. Come outside the barber's, I was supposed to go to IB for the next day. Been outside the barber's with my boys, cars pulled up, 2 shots come hit my face, and then like I've hit the ground, and then it's like, I don't know if you play Call of Duty or whatever, but like when you hear that beeping, you hear that beeping noise and everything's
like, I get it all the time, still to this day. Yeah. Now when I get it, just comes on.
Yeah, that's what it was like, and it was like boom, and then I just thought, wow, I'm still alive. Do you know what I mean? And then as I'm thinking that, more shots started firing, hitting the floor. And my cousin had just went home a second and come back, and he said he could just see smoke coming up off the floor, but I couldn't see that from where I was, but that was the bullets hitting the floor. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I ended up jumping in my cousin's car. He drove me to the hospital. and then luckily survived. But I was in like I woke up like 3 days later or something. They had me in a coma or whatever to do on the ICU. And then I was in and out of the hospital within 2 weeks or something.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. I think that's a pretty big turnaround.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm assuming probably a bit of gang activity back in the day. What does that feel? Do you remember like the pain or the feeling of actually getting shot?
It was a weird one. Like it was like getting a punch more so like you've been dropped. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a flash, knocked down almost. And it's like everything went in slow motion. So when you see them films and like things go in slow motion, it actually happens like that. It's like I seen the bullet leaving the gun. Do you know what I mean? Like I seen it coming, like the chamber turning and the bullet coming out. So it's like everything slowed down but it's like, I don't know. I got some different type of blessings, man, and different type of purpose. And that's how I know. It's like, I can't just sit at home and waste this opportunity I've got because I feel like I've got like a different level of purpose. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I still here? That's two close death experiences. So and I've got through them, and I'm still here, still fighting, still healthy.
And was that a turning point for you though? After that, you're like, right, shit, whatever it is that you were involved with, you thought, right, I gotta move on and make some changes, or did it take a little bit of time?
It took a bit, to be honest, that probably made me worse for a second. And then it's like something switched. I think it was the time when I think it was around that time I went to America, and the same year my son was born. That year I just thought, nah, like I need to change this. And like, I kind of had no, like before fighting, I had no hope, pretty much no hope, like no dreams, no aspirations. I was looking up to like the bad boys and whatever. I wanted to be like them as a kid. I didn't see, like, I wouldn't say I've made it now, but I didn't see any opportunities like do you know what I'm saying? Like earn a living and whatnot. So I was like pretty much tunnel vision to that style. And then when I seen a different side of things where I could actually do something, it was like, focus on my energy on that, and I'm like an all or nothing person. So whatever I'm doing it at the highest. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%, and it is commendable because you look at it from a positive angle. You're like, I got shot, I fell off the bike, and look at me, I'm still here, I'm still going. A lot of people would look at that from the other way and say, and play the victim. So I commend you for that, Lerone. I really do. And as I said, for a lot of people, the products of their environments. You know what I mean? And you're absolutely right. Because listen, I'm from about 45 minutes away from Manchester, and we don't have like the level of crime there. But there's not a lot to do. There's no fucking opportunity, and people fall into the same kind of traps. You know what I'm saying? Just doing nothing. No education, drinking too much, and just no ambition. And it's just
like your role models around you, and that's like a big thing for me. It's like, that's why I'm trying to show the youngest that like it's doable, because as a kid growing up, and all you're seeing is the older people drinking or smoking or just not doing nothing with your life. You think that's your limit too. Do you get what I'm saying? That's all you're meant to do as well. So it's important for like the kids and stuff like that to see, not even just to become a fighter. There's so many things you can do nowadays. It's important that they can see that they can actually get there, because it's easy to fall into crime or whatnot.
Yeah, without question. And know that you're a massive inspiration to a lot of people, maybe, that in your, I don't know, extended community or network, if you will, so well done for that, Lerone. And I truly mean that. All right, guys, let's talk about Nugenix really quick, which is a tremendously effective testosterone booster. And look, listen, are you tired of wasting your money on testosterone boosters that don't work? I don't blame you. That is why our sponsor, Nugenix Total T, lets you try before you buy. You can get a complimentary sample when you text 231231 and enter the keyword believe. You're going to get it complimentary. Okay, now, listen, as you're getting older, I'm in my mid-40s. I hate to say it, but I'm in my mid-40s. You got to give that testosterone a little boost. And maybe you don't want to start taking steroids and getting on the testosterone replacement therapy. That is where Nugenix comes in handy, okay? Nugenix Total T testosterone booster with testofen will help you turn back the clock and re-energize your life. Don't take our word for it. As I say, try before you buy. If it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. You literally have nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle drive, even more passion. Get your complimentary sample when you text 231231 and enter the keyword believe. Nugenix Total T contains man-boosting key ingredients like testosterone, which has been shown to boost free testosterone levels in men. This is an unprecedented formula with science-backed key ingredients to safely maximize your free and total testosterone levels. Don't be misled, right? Every product professes quality, but many all use generic ingredients. With Nugenix Total T, you get premium key ingredients at the same exact powerful clinical potency levels used in the trials. A Nugenix formulation is backed by years of science and research. And that is the reason why Nugenix is the #1 doctor-recommended brand and the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Okay? And as I said, they're going to send it to you complimentary. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, well, it doesn't matter. You will like it, though, because this stuff is fantastic. Get a complimentary bottle when you text 231231. Use the keyword believe. Text now and get a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, the newest and most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you lose fat and get lean fast. Absolutely free. Text 231231. The keyword is believe. Text 231231 and enter the word believe. By the way, texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages, content not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. #1 recommended brand by primary care physicians based on an independent survey conducted by the IQVIA 2022. So now you're undefeated fucking UFC superstar. You know what I mean? 13-0, ripping it up. You know, good-looking bastard, six-pack for days, reflexes, boxing. I mean, the sky is literally the limit, Lerone. In a perfect world, who would you want to fight next?
Well, I've been thinking about this, well, for the last few weeks, and it's like the only reason I don't call people out, especially off a loss, is because I feel like it's a bit cowardly. Do you get what I'm saying? To like see somebody's had a little fall and call them out. But I'm thinking like a fight that makes sense to me personally now is Dan Ige, and that's not because I think he's just lost a fight and I think whatever, I feel like he will bring the best out in me. I feel like I've not been shown my best yet. I feel like I need somebody that's gonna push my limits and make that come out, because last fight felt like a spar. Do you know what I mean? Like it felt I felt like I need to feel that fear again. As like I'm getting in there with somebody that's maybe better than me or whatnot. I need to feel that fear, and that's going to level me up, and that's going to make me fight better.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Your last fight was Josh Kulabau in London. Kulabau's a tough guy, man. Yeah, he's very good.
He's very good. I just didn't feel that like fear, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like I didn't feel like, I feel like I want to feel that fear going into a fight. Like I feel like that's what brings the best out of me.
I don't mean to bring it up again, but after you've been shot 3 times, is there anything that can fucking scare you? Because you know what I'm saying? You're like this is a walk in the park for me.
Do you know what? Like this is what I'm saying. Like I don't have no fear of losing in that respect, but I think
you don't.
Like, no, I don't have a fear of losing.
That was my only fear.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fear that. I fear going out and not performing, or just like. Obviously, you know how vulnerable we are, how vulnerable we make ourselves. We're fighting in front of millions in some shorts, half naked. It's like on TV. That's, do you know what I mean? That's my fear. But it's like my biggest fear is not being able to provide for the family. Do you know what I mean? And retiring with what I shouldn't retire, what I should retire with. Do you know what I'm saying? That's my fear. It's not really losing. I know if I lose, I know what type of person I am. That'll make me better. I'll come back 100 times better, and I know that's what if I lost, that's what I know I needed to accelerate my career and make me better. Do you get what I'm saying? So I wouldn't see it like that at the end of the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same thing for me, because the losing relates back to the growth of your career and where you're going to get to. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we all want to be world champion. That's great, but I only wanted to be world champion because that meant I could give my family the best life possible. 100%. Not because I wanted to parade around like a fucking big-headed bastard. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Don't get me wrong. I have my moments, but it was mainly to put bread on the table. Do you have children, Lerone? Sounds like you do.
Got a little boy. Yeah, got a little boy.
How old is he?
He's 6.
6. And what does he think when you fight?
Do you know what? I show him my fights after, but I don't let him watch him while during. But he likes it. He's training himself now. I'm padding him and stuff like that. He goes to Manchester top team, does his grappling and stuff on a Saturday. He's doing rugby on a Sunday. Like do you know what I mean? He's active and got him in a few little things. But I'm not over forcing him into fighting. But I want him to be able to protect himself, and I want him to learn that discipline mainly.
Yeah, no, it's great for young'uns. So talk to me about British MMA. Right now it's flying. There's yourself, there's Tom Aspinall. We got the champ, Leon Edwards. I mean, it's right now UK MMA is absolutely flying, but I'm not there. I'm not boots on the ground. When did you made your UFC debut? 2020.
2019.
MMA 2016. Have you seen like a change since 2016 to where it is now?
100%. When I first went pro, there was only a few guys. Like literally, like obviously you guys were in the UFC. Ross Pearson, Jimmy Manuel. That's who I remember. At that point, you guys are flying then. But it's like now, got so many guys, and you're not even in the UFC that are coming up now. It's like I feel like UK will have a lot of champions. I know you've been champion and Rocky. And that's like just the odd person, do you get what I'm saying? But I feel like in the next few years to come, we're going to have a good few champions. It's flying right now, and like the level's high. I'm sparring with amateurs that are like better than pros that have fought, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's scary. I feel like we've caught up with like the wrestling now kind of thing. Not on the same level as Dagestanis and the Americans to that thing, but we're learning how to defend it, do you get what I'm saying? We're training wrestling more than we was.
We've got a Dagestani joining us shortly, Muhammad Mokaev. He's jumping on the show as well after you. He'll be fighting in Abu Dhabi. Do you know Muhammad?
Nah, I don't know. Well, I did, but I don't really speak to him, to be honest.
Right. Okay, we'll leave that one there. I didn't know. I know he's from around your neck of the woods as well. Moving on. We'll edit that bit out. Oh, shit, man. Oh, God. Well, let's talk about Leon Edwards, Colby Covington. What are your thoughts on that fight? That's coming up soon.
I think Rocky beats him. I wouldn't say easily. It's a tough fight. But I think he beats him because if you look at, I think he's similar to Usman. And if you look at how Rocky beat Usman twice, I think he beats him, to be honest. I think Colby's not overrated, but he shouldn't have been fighting for the title anyway. In my eyes, he's lost his last 2 fights, has he? I think to Usman, maybe.
No, he beat Masvidal. I think in his last one, didn't he?
Yeah, Masvidal's not. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he should be fighting for the title, but I think it's a nice fight for Rocky. The only guy I see giving Rocky a run for his money at the minute is that Rakhmonov. He looks scary, but
yeah, man.
Other than that, I think it's his time, man. I think it's his time.
Yeah. No, so do I. Harrington, we've got some questions for you on Twitter. I do believe our producer Harrington is going to go through some of them. Yeah. Harrington, pick wisely. Don't ask him about Muhammad Mokaev. Okay,
I would never. See,
and real quick, how's Kane doing? Kane Musa.
He's good, man. He's good. I think he's looking for a fight again now. He's not been in the gym for a bit, but he fought a few months ago. But it's all good, man. It's all good. Do
me a favor, send my regards, because I used to train with Kane back in the day, and I feel like a total wanker because he probably thinks I'm a wanker. Because what happened was I used to see him in the gym when he was super young, and he was brilliant, man. I loved his energy, and we'd always have a real good laugh. And then I moved to America for years, and I came back and I fought 2016, and I got a phone call in my hotel room saying Kane's downstairs, wants to see you. And I was going through a ton of beef with like my own management and stuff back then. And I honestly, say I've been hitting the head too many times or whatever it was. I'm like, who's Kane? And I feel bad. I totally slipped my. If they said Kane Musa, I would have known. But I'm like, Kane. And they went, he used to train with you. And I'm like, fucking hell, like I weren't on good terms. And I said, oh, just say I'm not here. So he probably thinks I'm a total wanker. And then after that, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I've messaged him a couple of times on Instagram and he's not having it. Send my regards. Tell him big respect. Really, and honestly, I send him all my best. I really do mean that.
I will do.
Yeah, please do. Harrington, what have we got?
So I thought this was the best question. So I'm going to start with something interesting here. Andy Lake wants to know, have you had any contact from the UFC about fighting either Nathaniel Wood or Nate Landwehr again? Both fights, he was really, really looking forward to watching.
Yeah, both. Do you know what? I've not, and I've always accepted every fight that's been sent to me. People say, "Oh, you ducking." Like, obviously, the internet beef. People say, "Oh, you ducking." I've never ducked a fight. I'd love to fight either one of them. I think both of them fights are great fights. But like I said to Mike before, we're looking at like the Iges and the Yusufs and the. I'm trying to get to that title, bro. I'm like, do you know what I'm saying? I want to be fighting up the ladder. I'm trying to work my way up the ladder. Soon as, if any of them get in the top 15, I'll fight them. Like, I don't, or whoever Shelby tells me to fight, I'm fighting. That's it. Simple.
What is the story with you and Nathaniel Wood? Because there was a bit of beef, right?
Yeah. So basically, like, we used to mess. We've never been mates like that, but we've always had that respect. We've always had like a few messages back and forth. Every time he won or lost, I used to message him, and do you get what I'm saying? So we've always had that respect. And then basically, we got the fight offered. He got it first. He's messaged me saying, "Oh, I've been offered this fight. Whatever. We'll be cool after it. It's all right." I said, "Sweet, yeah, let's do it." So anyway, going into camp, and then he's ended up getting injured. And then we've had a little bit of back and forth on there. And then he's pulled out and he's been like tweeting like, "Oh, I would have put on a masterclass against Lerone." Okay. Like that's okay to think that, but I feel like if you pull out, you don't talk shit. You just let people fight. Do you know what I mean? Let people carry on with the camp. So I just started laughing. I said, "Come on, bro. You're delusional." Do you get what I'm saying? As in, you're delusional. So we've gone back and forth. I wasn't even bothered about that. But then he started saying, "Oh, your teammates," meaning Mokaev, has said something about you. Do you know what I mean? So it's women stuff, man. Like, I'm not interested, bro. And then I seen him at the UFC, the last card. And I just come up to him and said, so what are you saying? Because I don't want to do all this internet arguing. Do you know what I'm saying? If we're men, if we've got a problem, we'll fight, innit? Simple. So I just asked him, like, what is it? And then he's saying, oh, let's book a fight, bro. Let's book a fight. Like, I just said, whatever. It's just gay stuff, really.
Yeah. Okay. No big deal. That happens with fighters in the same weight class. It's inevitable. Do you know what I mean? Because you're both alpha males. You both want to be the top dog and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's no big deal. Harrington.
Okay. NYR Hockey wants to know, what do you think is the best MMA background of all of them?
Oh, can I just say the best background is not what Harrington's in. It's pink. You got fucking kids' toys behind you. Do you know what I mean? That's not the best background, Harrington.
It's my daughter's room. It's the best background. It doesn't get any better than that.
You're in your baby's room. He's having Wi-Fi issues. He had to leave and change the room.
I'd say, obviously wrestling, but I don't know. Nowadays, I think it's changing a bit now. Yeah, wrestling, in it, because you decide where the fights go, if it goes up or it stays up. You need some degree of wrestling.
Best takedown in the game, though. Left hook, Lerone.
Exactly, mate. And every fight starts on the feet.
Exactly. Go on, Harrington, one more.
All right, last one here. Millsies wants to know, what would you envision in your path to the title? Like, how many fights, what fights, and what ranks are you trying to jump with those fights?
I'd say, I think personally, I would like another year, a solid year under my belt. I'd say another 4 fights, maybe fight Ige, good fight. I don't know, he's in the top 10 so right now, but I'd say another 4 fights, another 4 fights, and then fight for a fight.
Well, somebody like Ige, that would be perfect, because that's the fight you need to kind of break out. And I say that with respect, you know what I mean? To break out. Certainly out here for the American audiences as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I want to fight one of them guys in the US maybe, and just like, because let's be honest, a lot of people still don't know who I am. Do you know what I mean? So I need to get a big fight, get a big finish as well, and just like, sky's the limit from there.
Yeah. Well, when you book that, give me a shout, and if you don't mind, jump back on. Let me ask you this. December 16th, when Leon fights Colby, I'm doing a little show in Manchester at the Apollo. Tales from the Octagon 2. There's going to have Tom Aspinall's going to be on stage with me and Paul Krieg. If you're around and you want tickets, let me know and I'll sort you out, and then we'll find somewhere to go watch the fights.
Nice one, bro. That'd be sick. Love that.
That'll be a great night of MMA. Lerone, thank you very much, man. Great to talk to you. Thanks for sharing your story with us, and I wish you all the best and talk to you soon. Pleasure
being on here. Thanks for getting me on, bro.
Anytime, brother. All right, take care. There he is. Cheers, brother. There he is, the one and only Lerone Murphy. Do you know what I mean? As I said, he looks at it as a blessing and sees the optimism in what he went through. You know, where a lot of people would feel sorry for themselves. They would play the victim. You know, and certainly in this world, everyone's a victim these days. And there's people that are going through real things right now in the world. Do you know what I mean? So just count yourself lucky for the situation that we're all in. And I'm not getting into details, but if you turn the news on right now, there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world. But isn't that wild? Shot twice in the face, once in the chest, and then now turns himself around and becomes a professional athlete. That is inspirational.
Well, dude, that idea of I've been shot in the face. What can possibly happen to me in an octagon that's going to be worse than that? That's like a superpower going into fights.
That's what I said. I said that you can't be scared, can you? You know what I mean? Oh dear. What's that line from Tupac? 5 shots couldn't drop me. I took him and smiled. Something like that. He'll know it. He'll know it. All right, let's talk about Prizepicks really quickly, which is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. And they are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS, daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You just pick more or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Okay, what do I mean? Listen, Prizepicks is a very fun way of picking up 25x on your money this football season. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. As I say, very simple. Testing your skills on Prizepicks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And if you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Prizepicks is very simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous section of players and stat types are what make Prizepicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. So let's give you an example. This week on Prizepicks, okay, I am selecting Odell Beckham Jr. for more than 50 yards and Josh Allen for more than 2 passing touchdowns. See what I'm saying? It's very simple. Or you could say, right, I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson for less than 100 yards and Lamar Jackson for more than 1 passing touchdown. All you got to do is pick more or less. It's very, very simple. Prizepicks offers weekly promotions that lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Prizepicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Prizepicks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. So give it a try. More or less. Very simple. Go to prizepicks.com/believe. Use the code BELIEVE for a first deposit match up to $100. Prizepicks.com and you will use the promo code BELIEVE and you will get a first deposit match of up to $100. Okay, Prizepicks.com, promo code BELIEVE, deposit match of up to $100. Anyway, Sean Strickland said he feels bad for picking on Israel Adesanya. What is going on, Harrington?
So he said basically, after the fights, right? Guys usually have like a come to Jesus moment. No matter how much, crap you've been talking beforehand, it's like, man, that could have been me on the losing end. Like it's a camaraderie thing. Izzy took that moment. He just pointed to that. He says, you talked about my family. I would never do that. I would never do that. He looks at me and he's like, I would never make fun of your family. I'm like, Izzy, I don't know your family, bro. I don't know if you have siblings. I don't know what you're talking about. This is after the fight. He starts pointing at his neck and he's like, my effing dog, man, my dog. Bottom line, Izzy, dude, I think the guy needs some help. With Izzy, it's starting to not be funny anymore because I'm starting to understand Izzy and his love of his dog, peanut butter and all. I'm starting to realize he could have been some form of like mental, I'm not going to say that word, like there's something effing wrong with this guy. You know, now it's just like kind of, I feel bad, like I'm picking on the blank kid at school that eats his boogers. It's not funny anymore. It's still a little funny.
Oh God! I mean, he just does. I mean, fair play. You know what I mean? You kind of reap what you sow. Sean Strickland, he's got a big mouth, and I like it. I'm a fan of it. I really am. You know what I mean? We want to see colorful characters in the sport. Izzy is one. You know what I mean? He's gone out there. I mean, look what he did to Paulo Costa after the fight.
He humped him like a dog.
Like a dog. Oh, God. Jesus. Peanut butter and all. Listen, I'm not saying this. These are the words of the middleweight champion, Sean Strickland. But as I say, the point I was making, I didn't mean to bring up the humping like a dog reference. What I meant was like after the fight, look what he did to Paulo Costa. Do you know what I mean? So Strickland's, he's entitled to still go out there and talk a little shit. You know what I mean? It's like, because Izzy does that, and you talk back and forth, hyping the fight and all the rest of it. Hey, you kind of reap what you sow. Simple as that.
If you embarrass a man, if you literally continue beef with a 12-year-old after a fight, I can't feel bad for anybody saying anything to you after you lose a fight. You know what I mean?
Who continues beef with a 12-year-old?
Izzy with Pereira's son.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did. What did he do again? Just remind me.
He did the arrow celebration at his
on
kid.
The octagon. Yeah.
You kind of get what you got coming at that point.
Yeah, you do. You do kind of have that. But never mind that. Look at this guy. Always got a smile on his face. The one and only.
How are you guys?
Muhammad Mokaev coming live from Abu Dhabi, correct?
That's right.
You're in the fighter hotel?
Next to it, we have like my team have apartment, but I stay in like a separate room.
Look at this guy. You know, my team's got an apartment and all the. You've changed, Mohammed. You've changed.
No, brother. Last time was one room and around 6 guys in one room.
Nah, good for you, man. Good for you. How you feeling? How's Abu Dhabi treating you so far?
Good, to be honest, Michael. I've been out of. I was in Bahrain since September because the climate is crazy in Abu Dhabi compared to like US, like UK. That's why I'm a true professional. I believe the climate can make different performance for any fighter, and I've been traveling a lot in my amateur days, and I know this is very important. I came out early with my sparring partners, and we've been here a long time now.
Just to explain that, a lot of people won't know. Out in Bahrain, the country of Bahrain, for people that don't know what Bahrain is, there's a lot of fucking stupid people out there. There's a gym. Is it KHK?
That's right. It's KHK team sponsored, like funded by His Highness Sheikh Khalid. Yes, yeah. Sheikh Khalid. And Bahrain is small countries, 50 kilometers by 30 kilometers, like 1 million population. And it's no big, but there's like there's basically it looks like America because there's American base there, army. There's a lot of like American people, British people, and it is a westernized place.
But the Sheikh, he loves MMA, right?
Yes, he was in my corner last time I was fighting in Abu Dhabi, and like World Championships, IMF, when I was competing. He were cornering me. He stays in touch. He's like, he actually competed himself, like back in the days. I think 2017 maybe. And
in Bahrain.
Yes, in Bahrain. Yes.
I feel sorry for the opponent. Do you know what I mean? you gotta take it easy on that guy. You win, you're fucked. You lose, you're fucked. I'm joking.
It's lose situation, right?
It's a lose. You know, no. But for what I meant is that he runs or funds this beautiful gym, from what I hear, because we had a few fighters from KHK on the Contender a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
And yeah, they sponsor all of them. They make it, you know, as easy as it can be with recovery, the training, everything, you know. So that's amazing, man. It sounds like MMA is really growing out there.
Michael, to be honest, like before I have to work, do something like I was doing security job like back in 2019 before World Championships. have to like make money and fighting same time, which is not like fully professional. And now I have everything sorted with travel, flights, hotels, sparring partners, like food, everything sorted for me. You just I have to beat Tim Elliot. That's it.
Again, I'll say you've changed. You know, once upon a time, he was a poor immigrant from Dagestan. Now he's hanging out with sheiks. He's got his own private apartment. You've got your own chef, no doubt. You know, you got a little water boy. You know what I mean? You got to stay tough. You got to fucking be hungry, Muhammad.
I am.
Yeah. How's the leg?
Good. I'm back. I was ready to back in August. I was doing a recovery with like vegan athletics. I was ready to back in August, Michael. Yeah. It's not as bad as people thought, but of course I spent a lot of time on it. All my mostly was mental game.
Mm-hmm. So Tim Elliot. Now you went through a couple of opponents first, right? Or was it just one change? Who was your original opponent for UFC 294?
No. It was Tim Elliot. That's it.
Oh, was it? Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought you were fighting someone else originally. Tell me about Tim Elliot. What do you think of this guy?
He's awkward, like his nickname, and you have to. I think he's a wrestler. He's striker. He does everything. He just like fights on the street, like fist fighting. He brings like fist fights, and I believe my fight IQ is smarter than his. All the guys who beat him, they were higher IQ than he has. He's got toughness, but toughness doesn't win the fights. All the time.
Yeah. But this will be a good fight for you because Tim Elliot has been around a long time. I think a lot of people that follow MMA, they all know the name Tim Elliot. He is awkward. He never gets tired. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's been in there with Demetrius Johnson. He's fought some of the best people in the world. So this for you go out there, you beat Tim Elliot, you're going to get a lot of recognition. So you excited about this opportunity?
Not just beating Tim Elliot. I want to finish Tim Elliot because when I finish Tim Elliot, I will be one of the contenders to the title. I don't expect they give me title shot next, but maybe somebody injured and I'm ready to fly to America because Brendan Royval fighting Pantoja after that, and I will be on the longest fight winning streak after this in the division right now. And
you feel like you're getting that close? I mean, because let's have a look. You're still undefeated, 10-0. Yeah. 4 wins in the UFC so far, undefeated. You are doing great.
Within 12 months, Michael, and also I beat Cody Durden, who's on 4-fight winning streak, also ranked right now. And I beat some good guys in the division. I never ask for easy fights. I never ask like, listen, I'm young, give me some trampoline to build up. I came to UFC, I said, give me anyone. I called out Tim Elliot after my debut, by the way. Finally, I reached the rankings. What they said, I don't care about these rankings. I just want to fight, like, to be deserved to fight for the title.
What is your ranking right now? Have you got a ranking? Let's have a look.
11, I think.
Oh, you're 11. Oh shit, yeah. Good for you, man. No, I was just looking on the Wikipedia page for the fight card. It doesn't say. That's amazing, man. 4 fights, ranked number 11 already. You beat Tim Elliot. Yeah, there'll be some real conversations. How do you beat Tim Elliot? Perfect world. How do we finish this guy?
Within 2 rounds, I will submit him.
What if I told you that he said within 2 rounds he's going to submit you?
I like that. I want him, when fighter wants to.
He said he's going to fuck you up. He said your needs are weak. He said this guy can't fight. He said I think he called you a pussy.
Wow! Now you're just making some.
I know I am.
Listen, I'll headbutt him, Michael.
Oh shit! Are you excited to fight in Abu Dhabi? I know you fought there before, and it's an amazing fight card.
Amazing. To be honest, it's half of UK living in Abu Dhabi already, and I have like huge split. It's like half Dagestan living here and half UK, so I have like double fan base here. And the local, the Middle East, like they back me up crazy over here.
Yeah, nice. Well, enjoy it. Talk to me about that main event, Islam versus Charles Oliveira. What do you think? Who wins that? If I even need to ask. I mean, I think I know who you're gonna. But talk about it.
Islam will win, but this time I think Charles will be more focused. I think he bring the fight. like more last time maybe he will like try to do it technical or something like this. Of course, Islam stylistically, Oliveira easier than Dariush, for example. You know what I mean? The body style of Oliveira has like very thin for wrestler. It's a perfect
Yeah.
This for the wrestler, like stocky wrestler, I think it's perfect. But for Oliveira, only like skinny guy in the division who were good, it was Tony Ferguson. But Oliveira cannot move like Tony Ferguson. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I think so. Who's your favorite fighter? When you were growing up, when you were watching UFC, who did you want to be? Was it Khabib? Was that your guy that you kind of was an inspiration to you?
To be honest, Khabib was Rustam Khabilov.
Rustam Khabilov. That's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Yeah, Rustam. He's coming actually tomorrow morning. He's landing. He also will be in my corner, and he fought on same event as you in 2016 against Norman Park. I was there.
What, when I fought Anderson Silva?
Yeah, that's it. He fought Norman Park. He beat Norman Park.
Whenever I fight, I have no idea who else is on the card. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't give a fuck. If I'm commentating, then I know about it. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm fighting on it, I couldn't care less who's on the undercard. All I'm thinking about, Anderson Silva's going to smash my face in. I've got to train. You know what I mean? Khamzat Chimaev. Have you bumped into Khamzat yet?
Khamzat, no, he actually sent me like voice message, said whatever you need in Abu Dhabi, let me know. The team just actually sound down the reception. I think he will finish Paulo Costa also.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be a good fight. You see,
I
very chilled.
Costa also, he actually looks smaller than Khamzat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a big boy. He's a big 185er.
Also.
Yeah, seen it. His arm's fucked up. That might be an issue for him. You seem very calm this time. Normally you've got beef. Normally you've you're ready to. You got a problem with somebody. Everything's cool now. You got no issues with anyone.
Paddy's not here. That's why I'll be cool.
What's the issue with Paddy?
I want to fuck him up bad.
Now we're talking. We're going through. So what do you think about the main event? Fuck off, boring. You're right. Here we go. Talk some shit. Muhammad, we'll get Paddy on. He can answer to it. But What is the issue? What is going on?
I just don't like this guy. I don't like. I beat a couple of guys from his gym, and he's still upset about that.
Who's he? He's fighting Tony Ferguson. What do you think about that fight?
Tony is good. Like Tony it's not like people put like cross around him, but I mean he was doing good against Challenger. I think he can beat Paddy. Paddy is not great fighter. Like his chin up. He shoots like I don't know. He lost last fight too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're probably right. It'd be a good fight, though. I think it's a good step up for Paddy. And it's a good one for Tony. It's a good one for Tony to try and get a bit of respect back as well. If you can beat Paddy Pimblett, who's very popular, you know what I mean, then all of a sudden people might asking Tony to stop retiring.
I think he should retire after this fight. I mean,
you do?
Yeah, he earned a lot of money. What else he needs? Like, he's been there. He was on like 11 fight winning streak. He would will to fight anyone in division. I think I would put him top 5 pound for pound fighters. I actually love Tony.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I'm just looking at your age. You're only 23. 23, man. Fair play to you. 23 years old, right? What are you? 10-0 in mixed martial arts, 4-0 in the UFC, currently sitting in Abu Dhabi, fighting on a massive pay-per-view in 2 weeks. No, seriously, all jokes aside, that's incredible, man. It just shows what hard work and discipline can get you, because 23 years old, there's a lot of, like my son's 22, Keller, fucking hell, listen, he's at college and he's studying, he's fucking flipping chicken sandwiches right now. He ain't in fucking Abu Dhabi. There's a lot of people that want to do things in life and they try and think of all these reasons and obstacles and they feel sorry for themselves. 23 years old, man. You're doing great things, Mohammed. You should be very proud of yourself.
I appreciate it, Michael. To be honest, I have like family. I have like my daughter last week was 1 year old, and I have family. I travel a lot, and I miss my family. So it's a lot of sacrifices. It's not just like Abu Dhabi cars. It's not what people think. It's all this flashy life in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, but there's most important thing for me, family, my religion, and get something for my family so they don't go through stuff like I went through as a refugee.
Yep, but that's always the motivation, and that's all you need. And I'm sure you have all the motivation to defeat Tim Elliot coming up in a couple of weeks. So, mate, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us, Mohammed. Always a pleasure, brother. Next time, you gotta come with more shit, bro. You're very calm today. Normally, there's a bit more piss taking.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, good luck in the fight. Good luck in the fight.
You coming to Abu Dhabi?
No, I won't be there, brother. But
I'll see you in Manchester then in December, right?
Oh, dude, you're coming to the show.
Yes, I'm coming.
Tales from the Octagon 2, Manchester, myticket.co.uk. Brother,
Dude,
all the best, man. Kick some ass.
Dude, I appreciate it.
Take it easy, Mohammed. All the best, buddy. All the best. There he is, the one and only Muhammad Mokaev. Seemed a little quieter today.
He seemed like it seemed like the last time he was on, he was a little bit cagey because he'd been cooped up since his knee. You know what I mean? Now, like a Mokaev who's in training, who's getting it all out, like that's a chill guy.
Isn't that crazy though? 23 years old. As I say, I mean, I should have known it because he's friends with my son, and they wrestled kind of together at some wrestling tournament in Romania or somewhere. And by the way, Callum's doing great things. You know, he's doing his college. You know, he's got a bachelor's degree now. He's getting his master's degree, but he's got a little part-time job working at a chicken sandwich store. And Callum, I'm very, very proud of. He's learning the value of a dollar and all the rest of it. So God bless him, and I hope you well, son. He
got the bachelor's already.
He's got the bachelor's.
I literally remember when you were like dropping him off at college. It's crazy how fast that goes.
Got his bachelor's degree. Now he wants to work a little bit. He's applying for a bunch of paid internships and stuff like that. But in the meantime, he's got a little job just to bring some dollars in and stuff like that and stand on his own 2 feet. And I was really proud of him, actually, because he's living in this tiny, tiny little apartment in San Francisco with 2 other guys, you know, and it's so cramped and it's tiny. And I said to him, I'll send you a bit of, what are you laughing at?
I have a funny thing about San Francisco real estate.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to say something else about 3 guys in San Francisco sharing a 1-bedroom apartment. I thought you were going to come out with some.
Dude, you know how normal that is now? The starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers has a roommate.
Oh, really?
That's how bad prices are in San Francisco.
No, it's fucking insane. Go on, Brian.
That feels like a choice. You know, you're the starting quarterback in an NFL team. You can afford your own apartment.
I mean, he was
100%, bro. Hold on. No, hold on a minute. You can't say a starting quarterback for what team again?
The San Francisco 49ers.
Right. Brian, just look up what does he get paid. I guarantee it's enough to afford his own apartment.
It's like $900,000 a year. It's like he's the best deal in the NFL, but it is just
$900,000 a year. And yours. Oh, but this poor guy, even he's going to share a room with 2 people. He can fucking have that. It's a choice. He wants his buddies around. They're having a bit of fun. He doesn't want to live by himself. He's the breadwinner. He's paying for all the food. He gets them to do the dishes and the fucking cleaning while he goes out there, kicks some ass on the football field, then come back and just be the man.
He can make about $900K a year and then double that on like incentives.
Yeah. And sponsorship as well.
Come on, dude.
I don't know, man.
But still, anyway, Callum, hope you're well, dude. I got a little boo-boo on my face.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Did a little jiu-jitsu on Friday, so that was nice. Went down to the Violent Gentleman Jiu-Jitsu Club, Costa Mesa. Brian Talbot, Lunchbox, I call him. Shout out to him. He's been inviting me down for a long time, and I just always find a reason not to go. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it. I loved it. It felt good to be back on the mats. You know, I got a lot of injuries, but I thought I'll just risk it. We'll see where we go. Feel great. Jumped in the ice bath today, right? That was freezing cold. Odin Ice Bath sent me one. I'm not going to bore everyone with it because people are sick of it. You see all these people jumping in ice baths. It's like all the craze and all the rage, but it's supposed to be amazing for you. Did it this morning. Felt great. Didn't need any fucking coffee after that. I'll tell you that. I did 9 minutes. I got Rebecca in for 3.
Okay.
And
that's
Ellie
surprising.
What's surprising?
I just figured she would have a much bigger tolerance given how she reacted to the hot chip. I figured you'd be like, yeah, Rebecca was in there for a half hour.
Oh, no, but cold. And I think this is universal with all women. They do not like cold. cold.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we're always at war in the house. You know what I mean? I want it cooler. She wants it warmer. She's always complaining it's too cold. Back in the old days, you know, in cars, like these days, there's two thermostats for the temperature. But back in the old days, there was one. And there was always like the silent war. She'd turn it up to have heat. And I'd be like, oh, look at that. And then slowly she'd turn it again. You know what I mean? But yeah, she got in. She did a little 3 minutes. You know, I think that will be the only one that she ever does. She's done it. All the rest of it. But still, anyway, enough about that. What have we got in terms of mixed martial arts stories that we ever got to that were in the notes or any breaking news, Harrington?
Let me take a look at breaking news. But
Tyson Fury finally signed the contract for Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, I wanted to get your take on that because a lot of people had a problem with how close that was to the Francis Ngannou fight.
Yeah, but hold on. Is it actually December 23rd?
Yeah.
It will not be early next year, as many predicted. It will actually be December 23rd. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a little bit risky. What if Francis knocks him out? Then that fight's off the table.
It's almost like he's saying Francis can't knock him out, which is why he's booking a thing that is going to be a massive, massive undertaking. Less than 2 months later.
Francis, listen, I'm not shitting on Francis Ngannou, and I'm so happy for him to get this opportunity. And by all accounts, the purses are going to be through the absolute roof. He's not going to knock out Tyson Fury. Now, it can happen. It can happen. But I would bet a lot of money that it's not. I would be willing to put something up. I don't know if I would. I would put something up.
I'll put $10 on it that it happens.
But that he knocks him out?
Oh, yeah. You put a little bit of money, you make like a pocket full, it'll be all right.
Hey, Brian, just look up the odds. What are the odds for Francis knocking him out? Because it's got to be wild. I mean, the biggest upset in boxing was Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. That was 42 to 1. It wouldn't surprise me if it was somewhere similar because Ngannou's powerful. We don't need to get into the whole
plus
situation.
700.
Plus 700. So that's not as bad as what I thought, to be honest. So you put $100 down, you'll win 7.
Tyson Fury is a minus 1250 favorite.
Yeah. Again, not that big. Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas was 42 to 1. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was kind of something similar because I saw some footage. You know, we know Mike Tyson's training in Ghana. Did you see that footage that everyone was critiquing?
Yeah.
He was jabbing to the body.
I put it in the notes like the last couple of times and we just didn't get to it. And it felt like I was, really just trying to jam it down the throats, putting it in this week. But it just it's crazy to me how much people are comparing Francis to Deontay Wilder when it's like, I've seen what Francis has like setting up with his jab to his 2. The way Wilder can move his body to put the extra force on that 2, it's just not comparable. I just don't see it. Yeah,
well, it's the speed. That's the real factor. I was watching some training footage of Tyson Fury and his fights. He's way faster. He's way bigger. I think he's 33-0-1. Ngannou's tremendous, and he's had a great career, became the UFC champ. He's not going to catch Tyson Fury. I just don't see it. But our pets' heads will fall off if they do. Could you fucking imagine? And you know what? Also, he's training with Mike Tyson. And I don't know if that's the right fit. You know what I mean? Because Mike Tyson's trying to train him to be a boxer. Mike Tyson had a different style because he was a shorter guy who wants to get on the inside, use the head movement, fast feet, get on the inside and work inside the pocket. That isn't going to be how Ngannou should approach this fight. I mean, granted, he's going to be the shorter guy against Tyson Fury, but he hasn't got a short guy's style. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I also don't think he could stand at range and work a jab battle against Tyson Fury. No. So it's like your best bet is kind of getting inside and turning it into a brawl, no?
Oh, no, for sure. Absolutely. I would say the way he does that is just clinch up with him, throw him into the ropes. Throw him into the ropes and just fucking unleash. Just every time, just try and clinch. Just, use your wrestling, physicality. I know he's not a great wrestler, but he'll be a better wrestler than Tyson Fury. Use that, pummel underhooks, throw him into the corner, and then just go for it from there. That's about the only chance he's got. Trying to box ain't going to happen. But Usyk must be laughing his fucking head off. But talk about. Never mind. It's not disrespecting Ngannou. That's disrespecting Usyk. Usyk's the next best heavyweight on the planet, and he's taking a fucking tune-up fight a few weeks before it. That's kind of mental. I mean, it's awesome. It's kind of awesome as well of Tyson Fury to do it. It's like, that's how confident I am. No man alive, right? I will fight the biggest UFC bomb, Dosser. I will beat him, and then I'll beat Usyk, you little Dosser. So it's kind of, you know, if he can pull that off, if he wins both of those fights,
it's pretty impressive.
It's very impressive.
That's so long to be in camp, though. Like, you're literally just never breaking training camp at that point, right?
See, that's a really good point. That's a really good point, because if you underestimate someone, you can get clipped, right?
So he has to put in the work for Ngannou.
And when he had the press conference with Ngannou, he looked very much out of shape. And we know he's not exactly winning any modeling competitions for physiques anytime soon, but he's a great athlete. But he looked very heavy at the press conference. So he's got to train, because Ngannou's going to be training like a madman, right? So if Tyson doesn't train, he's going to get tired. So he will train. But then he's going to go straight into a training camp to fight Usyk. And I'll tell you right now, overtraining is a real thing. It's a real thing. I'd never considered that. That's interesting. Well done, Harrington. Good take.
Every now and then. Broken clock twice a day.
No, I don't know about that. Flags are back in the UFC.
I love that.
Me too. They should have never went away. Dude. You know, I had a flag. I think I've told this story before. I was looking for it recently. I'm pissed off. When I fought Rockhold the second time, UFC Europe got a huge Union Jack flag, and all the tweets of support, I've probably told you, all the tweets of support, they had them printed onto the flag. So I've got this huge flag, and I was supposed to walk out with it. But I couldn't walk out with it because Reebok wouldn't allow me. The little Reebok nerds wouldn't, you know, the outfitting policy. So I couldn't walk around with all the tweets from the support of the UK over my shoulders, which I would have loved to. But I want to get that framed and have it on a wall. And now I can't find the flag. It's somewhere in the fucking house. I'll find it. I'll frame it. But that's not why I couldn't have it. I think they banned the flags. I think it's because of the Ukraine stuff, right?
Yeah, I think they essentially just didn't want anybody carrying a Russian flag at that point. Yeah. And it was like, we're not making a political statement. Nobody's carrying Ukraine flags. Nobody's carrying Russian flags. Like, we're not making a part of this. But did you see Dana's reasoning behind it?
I loved it. I mean, I wish we had a video of it, but go on. What did he say? But he essentially just said, I don't give
well, yeah, no, that was that's he said everybody's being too soft if a flag is making you that upset. But he said it was the impetus for it was during UFC Noche when they were celebrating Mexican heritage and nobody was allowed to bring the Mexican flag out. And he said he was on vacation. He was just watching the card and it made him angry that nobody was carrying the Mexican flag. He said, that's it. We're done with this.
Oh, here we go. If any flags hurts your feelings, then too effing bad. And rightly so. Do you know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's the thing that's going to piss you off. That's the thing so as I said before, you know what I mean? There's another war going on now in Israel. It's awful. I mean, you look at your timeline, you just see death and misery. And then obviously you've got all that shit going on in Ukraine. There's a lot of other wars and conflicts happening all over the world. There's earthquakes going on. There was another big earthquake, I think, in Afghanistan the other day. Thousands of people died. There's a lot of real shit and real problems, you know. And if you're going to get bent out of shape because someone's got a flag from a country that you're not too thrilled with, give your head a wobble. Have a word with yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? In hell, man. Jeez Louise. Anything else we've got to get into before we go to questions?
Yeah, just I put this on last show, and I just didn't want to go another one without putting it. UFC reportedly working on a Petr Yan versus Song Yadong matchup to main event a fight night towards the end of the year in December. That booking, as soon as I saw that got me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, Petr Yan, Song Yadong, that's a good matchup, and I look forward to it. It's crazy because the division's kind of moved on now. Petr Yan seemed like the future of that division for a while, you know, and then who was it that beat him? Aljamain Sterling.
Aljo,
of course. Aljo, those 2 fights that they had there. Aljo shut him out pretty easily, though, that second one. So, hey, you never know. Maybe he comes back. All right, guys, let's talk about Shopify really quickly. If you're a business owner, a businessman or woman, or just an entrepreneur, you need to have an online presence. And Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. I say the same thing every time when I talk about Shopify, but this is a tremendous product. If you're an entrepreneur, a businessman, or whatever, like I just said, you need to take advantage of this. If you're not online, if you don't have an online presence, then you need to get up to speed. You need to get with modern times because you're not maximizing your earning potential. Okay, you're just not. You're outdated. You're a very, very old school. Shopify makes it extremely simple, cost effective. It's not time consuming. It's very, very easy, and they offer a tremendous amount of support. You can sell on an all-in-one e-commerce platform, and even lets you sell across social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. There is 24/7 help, an extensive business library course. There is Shopify is packed with leading industry tools. Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand without having to learn any new skills in design or code. You can accept all major payment methods straight away. So realistically, what are you waiting for? Now is your time to get serious about selling and try Shopify today. And again, listen to this offer. If what I just said doesn't convince you, then this surely should. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/believe. $1 per month. Shopify.com, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/believe. Take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/believe. Did see Nate Diaz talking shit to Jake Paul because Jake Paul, Nate Diaz sets the record straight. He's not ducking Jake Paul in MMA. You're full of shit. I didn't ask for shit. I'll fight you tomorrow in MMA. The problem is you suck, and I don't work for the pussy PFL. Dumbass, you do. Rematches in boxing, trilogies in MMA. I need time to train anyway. You suck. New Year's Eve is good. Fucking Diaz. I mean, you got to love him. You know what I mean? He gets his ass handed to him. Let's be honest. And he still says, you fucking suck. I beat you. He's won every fight he was ever fucking in. Simple as that. God bless him.
So Jake's, just to give you a little bit of backstory to it, Jake came out and said he felt my power in boxing. He wouldn't fight me in MMA because he knows I'd embarrass him. It's a lose-lose situation for him. And to be honest, the guy's ducking me. It's why he's asking for these insane demands that he knows no one can make happen in contract negotiations.
I don't think Nate's ducking anybody, but, you know.
Certainly not a Diaz brother. Certainly not a Paul brother.
No, and certainly not in MMA. You know, if you're going to fight him in boxing, you'll fight him in MMA for sure. We can use all of your skill set. But still, Conor McGregor wasn't back in the testing pool, but apparently now he should be. We all jumped the gun last week, said, oh, he's back. Because he tweeted, didn't he? He said, I'm back in the testing pool. Right. Sent all my paperwork. Saturday night, Dana White said, no, he's not back in it yet. Apparently, the ball's in motion, but he should be submitting his first samples this week. But he's yet to do so. Do you know what I mean? So you never know. We'll see. But I think it will happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, as long as he gets it in within the next couple of weeks, he'll be in line for 300. I think that's the thing that was mostly on people's minds. So I'm hoping that that gets done. Did you? All right. Yeah, I mean, that's stupid.
What's stupid?
Just that Conor told him to pull guard and break Logan's leg.
You were correct on your first statement. It's stupid. It is stupid. Anyway, you know what's not stupid? You're on the screen, so this should be timed perfectly. If you have a question, send them into bympod@gmail.com.
And if you're listening on Spotify, where you find podcasts, make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps us out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
All right, so first question we got here today is from Mr. Ben Smith out in the rainy forests in Scotland.
With UFC 300 being a huge event next year, do you really expect Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor to be main event? You know, it's a non-title fight. Has that ever happened before? Have we ever had a non-title fight make a main event and a title fight beyond the co-main event, for example? Because I'm not too sure how that works. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on it. Keep up the good work. I love what you do, and I'll catch you soon.
Well, thank you for the question, buddy. And may I suggest an umbrella next time? Yeah, I mean, we've seen this happen before. Certainly Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone. That was a main event on a pay-per-view at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, UFC 300. I cannot see, other than, I mean, listen, it's going to be a ridiculous card. That's for sure. And there'll probably be some title fights on there. But I can't see them not putting McGregor at the top of the bill. I just don't see it. He's the biggest star in the organization by far. In terms of, you know, because the way it is unofficially, or maybe even officially from my understanding, I might be wrong, but from my understanding, and I think I'm correct, is that if there's title fights on, generally the heavier one comes after the lighter ones. Generally. I don't think that's a concrete rule, you know, but I think that's generally the way it goes.
Fair, but they already broke that for McGregor when they had Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald too as the co-main event when Conor fought for an interim title.
Yeah, but again, because that's Conor McGregor, you know what I mean? Not many people are, you know, as I say, you know, I mean, there is a different set of rules when it comes to McGregor simply because of the numbers that he generates. You know, love him or hate him, you cannot deny those facts. How long that will remain, though, is the real question. Because, listen, if he comes back and loses to Chandler, well, what's the situation then? Because I think a bit of the hype has probably died down, but he's still by far and large the biggest star, and it's not even close. I mean, who else is next? I mean, you got O'Malley, who's a star. Certainly he's a star. I'm going to say a star in the making. He's a big star. He's not McGregor-esque, though. Not yet. John Jones certainly has the respect in terms of fighting ability and a lot of people's GOAT. But in terms of numbers...
Is he going to be sticking around for a long time either?
Is he going to be sticking around? I know there was something in the notes, wasn't there, Harrington, about that?
Gordon Ryan tweeted and then deleted or it might have been an Instagram post, but he said, you know, it's been awesome working with the GOAT, John Jones. I'm honored to be a part of his last training camp. And he referred to UFC 295 as Jones's grand finale.
Oh, and then it was recently deleted.
And then he was like,
deleted.
Kill that.
Do you reckon John Jones reached out and said, what are you doing, you fucking dickhead? You've just let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, most likely, or it's just John Jones trolling and being like, yo, Gordon, how funny would it be?
Or it's Gordon Ryan trolling, just having a laugh. You know
Fair
what
enough.
I mean? Trying to get us to talk about him on the podcast. That's what he craves. Either way, who gives a damn? But yeah, McGregor will be, to answer the question, he'll be the main event. Of course he will. Come on. It's a highly anticipated fight as well. And with the return, with the storyline, with the breaking the leg, the 2-division champion, the fact that he's the biggest star, the most pay-per-views, he's going to sell all the tickets. Of course, he's going to be the main event.
Plus, I don't think anything's going to get over your crop of stars more. Like, it all lines up where you could have a situation like Israel Adesanya is on that card and Sean O'Malley's on that card, and those guys are both fighting for titles. Having those guys as like the two spots below Conor McGregor, while Conor still does have that hype and cachet, will only grow their star.
It's crazy because it's only around the corner. April feels like a long time away. It's not. I mean, this year has absolutely flown by. It's crazy. We're almost in 2024. I made my professional debut in 2004, 20 years ago. Brian, what else?
All right. So the next question we have is from Doug Ladanza.
Hey guys, 2 quick questions. The first, do judges like write down notes per round, or once the round ends, they just put 10-9? Or do they keep track of notes throughout the round? And the second question, who was your favorite old school guy that wasn't necessarily a champion that you enjoyed watching? Me personally was Sokoju. That man either knocked you out in under 2 minutes or got knocked out over 2 minutes. This guy beat Jan Blachowicz, Nakamura, and I think Big Nog. Let me know what you think.
Oh, thank you very much for the question. Doug, right? Well, all they have to mark down is 10-9, you know, or 10-10 or 10-8, whatever the score is. I don't know about everybody's personal method. Maybe they do. Maybe they keep like a little scorecard in their mind. Maybe they write little notes or whatever, but I'm not sure. But all they have to write down is just their score of every round. I don't think I've ever seen notes. I think I would have seen or heard something like that. you know. But it would be difficult though, trying to keep a strike count.
It'd be impossible because you'd have to take your eyes off the action to look at your notes.
That's a good
write
point.
it down. So it wouldn't work. I judged something for the first time this weekend, and it is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, what did you judge?
Night fighting.
It's ridiculous.
It was the
my
coolest
God.
thing ever. It was so cool. These guys had full armor and they were beating the crap out of each other.
Sorry, knight, as in ancient knights.
Yeah. Armored combat. It was so cool.
I thought you meant night fighting, like fighting at the night in the dark. like blindfolded fighting. I thought you meant like that, but you just turned all the lights off.
No. It was cooler than that. I mean, that would be really hard to judge fighting in the dark.
The blindfold fights were
really hard
week.
to watch as well. Yeah, it's a spectator sport. Someone turn a fucking light on. I can't see a goddamn thing. What did you say, Bri?
The blindfold fights were last week in Vegas.
Oh God. God. Yeah. And what was the other part of the question?
The other part of the question was favorite guy, like old school dude who never won a title.
Oh God. What's yours?
I mean, I don't know the definition of old school, but I think Rumble Johnson can fit in that category now. And that was nobody ever missed a Rumble fight. That was appointment television.
There's a lot. I mean, he didn't win I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but Vanderlei Silva. I mean, he was a Pride champion. He never made it as a UFC champ. But Vanderlei, come on, man. You know, as much as I'm just not really a fan of the guy. I fought the guy and he just carried on being a prick afterwards. He was a prick before and he was a prick afterwards. Whatever, who cares? You know, all fair in love and war. Nothing, I don't hold a grudge or anything like that, but he's not one of my favorite people. But in terms of fighters, he was certainly one of my favorite fighters growing up when I first discovered mixed martial arts. Vanderlei Silva was the fucking shit. He was the man back in Pride, so violent. And even when he came over to the UFC, that fight with Chuck Liddell, have you seen that fight?
Oh, of course.
That's an absolute classic.
Insane.
Dan Henderson, you got to give it to Dan Henderson. Was he a UFC champ early on? I think he might have been. Dan Henderson.
Oh, Henderson.
No, Dan Henderson.
I don't know. I don't believe so because I think he's on that list of like best guys to never hold a title, but I will look that up.
He was a Pride champ. I think that's probably where the confusion's coming in. And he fought for the belt twice in back-to-back fights. Fought against Quinton Rampage Jackson, and then he fought Anderson Silva. 2 title fights in a row.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Now you got to give it to Dan Henderson as
well. What about Donald
Cerrone? Cerrone, there you go. Dustin Poirier. He's not an old school guy. Old school guys. I'm trying to think.
But he had an interim belt. I mean,
who? Dustin, yeah.
You know, at least he has the picture in the octagon holding the belt up. You know what I mean?
And he's got the belt. He'll have the belt at home as well.
Sure.
Oh, Henderson won the UFC 17 middleweight tournament.
I was going to say, I could have sworn he was a champion back in the day. Yeah.
Right. Tournament winner. I don't like, how does that factor in with the belts? You know what I mean? Like, does that lineage count for anything?
I don't know. It's not the modern era, but he won a tournament belt. I mean, that's pretty badass. It's pretty awesome. You got to give it to the guy, you know. Who else? There's more than that. Vanderlei Silva, Dan Henderson. I mean, Chuck Liddell, he was a champ. Who else? Chris Lieben was all money, all action back in the day. Chris Lieben was awesome. He fucking hit hard as well. I shared the octagon with him, man. He held me with a couple of good right hands. Who else?
Little guys.
Alpha, but he was a champ.
Right. Gray Maynard. Those fights with Frankie Edgar were legendary.
Yeah. No, they really were. Anyway, we got one more, Brian. Do we do it?
We do. This one is on a more personal note. This one's from Joe from Jersey.
Yo, what's up, Believe You Me podcast? It's Joe from Jersey again. It was my girl's birthday the other day. I fucked up. You guys don't need the whole story, but I'd love to hear a story, Harrington, you too, of a time that you messed up with your significant other and what you did to fix it. Love the podcast.
I mean, Jesus Christ, take your fucking pick. There's a lot. It's been 24 years, bro. You know what I mean? But I'm not getting into the personal spats, the ins and outs, the private life. You know what I mean? I'm not getting into that stuff. But needless to say, there's many, many, many times. But yeah, Joe from Jersey. don't pry, bro, into the private life. Nah, I mean, 24 years with someone, you're always going to have ups and downs, simple as that, you know. But what about you, Harrington?
I'm actually trying to rack my brain for one that I can tell on the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, there's lots, but I'm not going into them on the show. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, it's like that's something like that's an even bigger fight. Is me explaining that to a few 100,000 people.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, whoa. That is not podcast content.
Okay, we actually did do this. It was for the show. When we were thinking about doing the live show in London back in March, when it fell right around the time of Laura's birth, laughing at the idea of going to London when she could possibly be in labor, that sent her off the edge. And in hindsight, of course, I feel it. Like I was being a jerk there. So I took her out to Korean barbecue. She apologized for destroying my phone and bought me a new one. And we literally look back on that now and we laugh about it. Like, man, what a great day that was.
Growth. It's a period of growth. You learned a lesson and you got some free barbecue out of it. So well done. That reminds me, talking of free shows, talking of shows in London, Tales from the Octagon 2, just give a quick shout out for that. myticket.co.uk, myself, Paul Craig, Tom Aspinall on stage, Leon Edwards in the crowd, Muhammad Mokaev in the crowd, Lerone Murphy in the crowd. There's going to be a lot of others. It's going to be star-spangled in the crowd. A lot of MMA fighters, a lot of great British mixed martial art fans. So anyway, myticket.co.uk or just search Tales from the Octagon 2. But that's the show. Thanks to Lerone Murphy. Thank you to Muhammad Mokaev. Thank you to Harrington filling in for Anthony Smith. Great job as always. Brian McKay, of course. And we'll be back on Thursday with Mr. Lionheart himself. Until then, you guys be well. Take care.